Hello, welcome to Fresno-State. You are here because you want to learn stuff that will help you go out into the world, get a job, and be successful. Remembering the things you learned in college is essential to success post-graduation. For example, PR Daily News explains how learning survey methodologies in college courses can help business people make sure that their PR efforts are actually working. A lot of students come into college and have no idea how to learn and retain the essential information that they will use after graduation. After this short video, you will have the tools to effectively study and retain the information you are going to be learning over the next few years. So how can we learn and retain the information? As you may know, cramming doesn't work. Cramming the information you learned in just 1 or 2 study sessions before a test is sort of like throwing all the hours you spent in a cram session straight into a trash can after recalling it. The first thing you can do to retain information is to space out your study sessions. This means you should study, then go do something else. You could go meditate or even take a nap, then go back for study session number 2. This is called the spacing effect. The best learning actually occurs when you test yourself over increasing intervals. So first, study the information, wait a little bit, test yourself, wait a little bit more than last time, test yourself, wait even longer, test yourself, and so on until you remember the information. This works because every piece of information you have ever learned is at a resting level in your brain called resting activation. Let's say you're trying to retain the information that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Each time you think of this information, it gets activated. After you stop thinking about it, activation goes down, but resting activation is a little higher than it was before. Each time you recall the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, resting activation goes up a little more, and you get faster and faster at remembering it. The second thing you can do to retain information is to introduce desirable difficulties. This means you should make things harder for yourself, but in a good way. The best way to do this is to vary the conditions of learning. For example, you can study the information in a classroom, and then recall it in a park, then recall it at your house. Instead of reading or being told the information, you can try and generate it yourself for better learning. This is called the generation effect, and is another way to introduce desirable difficulties. Finally, the third thing you can do is to retain information is to get feedback. When you're recalling information, make sure that you give yourself feedback on what you couldn't recall correctly. It is much better to give yourself feedback as a summary periodically than to give yourself feedback after every single item you try and recall. Now you have the tools to learn and remember the stuff you will learn in college. Graduation will be here before you know it, and the world awaits you. Congratulations and welcome to Fresno State.
Created using Powtoon.